Hey everybody, happy Halloween. This is my costume, but it's actually just like stuff that I own because I have a coffee addiction. So today I wanted to talk about two main points. I wanted to discuss why Black Friday is starting tomorrow, at least for MinMaxGames, and to talk about fourth quarter and what to expect around the holiday season when it comes to retail stores, sales, and expectations for awesome deals. So let's get into it. So one of the cool things about having multiple companies is that you can like help each other out. So one of our companies was like, "Hey, you remember that one time when you guys bought $250,000 worth of Baldur's Gate and it tanked and it almost killed you?" And we're like, "Yeah, I remember that." And they're like, "You remember when we bailed you out of that and gave you a bunch of money so that you didn't die?" And we're like, "Yeah, that was really cool." And then they're like, "So we want to buy another warehouse." And we're like, "Well, that's awesome." And they're like, "We want you to pay for it." And we're like, "Oh, okay." So we want to buy another warehouse. It has nothing to do with the game store, just one of the other enterprises. But because it has to do with one of the other things we deal with, it has to deal with the game store. So Black Friday starts tomorrow, which is awesome. Yeah, we have to sell a lot of stuff. So great stuff. You know, we're expanding, we're growing, life is good. And this is one of the perks and horribleness about having different businesses is you kind of can like tap each other or bully each other into doing things you want them to do, which is great, except right now we're the ones being bullied. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. And I'm sure you guys will help us on the way. So, yes, tomorrow we'll start our Black Friday sales. I've been gearing up for this for months at this point, squirreling away inventory, getting stuff together to prepare for that. The idea was to have it drop the week of Black Friday, which is in a couple weeks. But because of the momentum for this new warehouse and kind of the market as a whole, and I'll kind of get into that, we decided that tomorrow is going to start that season for us. So what does that mean? Well, MinMaxGames, we don't do like just a generic discount across the board or stuff like that. What I like to do is create bundles. So what you'll see starting tomorrow, if you want to know exactly the date and time, or you know the date, it's tomorrow. If you want to know the exact time that everything's going to go live, I would highly recommend that you are on our email subscription list because that is where we tell this information first. So everyone who gets the email notifications will get a blast that says, "Hey, Black Friday is here," and a link to all the links. That way you can quickly, easily find them and beat out other people, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't do that, we'll put out social media posts and stuff probably an hour or so afterwards. So everyone will be notified. It's just that if you want to get in line first and see what we've got going on, I would highly recommend the emails. So the way we do it is, like I said, bundles. So I will take product that is old, some product that is new, something that maybe is more rare, and we'll kind of put it together, and we try to do it at different price points, right? So I want to have some stuff that's hovering around $100, stuff around $200, $300, all the way up to a little over $1,000 worth of product. And the different price points allows our customers to interact with the store on their own terms. So I'm not going to put like 100 booster boxes in a set and like give you a really good deal, but you have to buy 100 booster boxes. Like the amount of people that are actually interested in that type of a product is very, very slim. So having different price points helps you as a person buying for yourself, but also for people buying for others. So if you are a mom, dad, cousin, grandma, grandpa, or just friend who knows that Billy down the street is a really big fan of Pokemon and you want to spend $50 on him, then maybe there's a bundle that kind of fits that thing. You take it home, you wrap the entire bundle up, and you've got your Christmas present or your Thanksgiving Turkey Day gift or your post Halloween whatever it is, fourth quarter buying stuff for yourself or friends. So we will have those once again live tomorrow, and it should be a pretty decent depth of options across the board. Now, that's not the only thing we'll do for Black Friday, but this is the bulk of what I have to offer our I want to say employees. Maybe the guys will buy some stuff, but typically they don't. So our customer base. So later on, we'll have we'll do single sales. There'll be some rare drop style stuff where as we get closer, I'm sure some distros will have some product that they've been hiding to unleash, but I doubt it's much. So yeah, Black Friday starts tomorrow for us. And I am partially doing this in addition to like wanting to try to raise some capital for this new warehouse. I also have kind of a negative outlook on what the fourth quarter is going to be going into it from the consumer side. So this year as a whole, from the LGS, the store side, the retail side, has been pretty significantly great, like across the board. Most products that have been released have been grand slams, home runs. I mean, anything Pokemon has been amazing. Magic, for the most part, has had an upward trend. There's been a few, ups and downs, but as a whole, like, there's been so much money flowing. Flesh and Blood has had every set has been just like absolutely amazing for us outside of Super Slam. Super Slam is doing all right. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's not the crazy home run fourth quarter product like we all expected it to be, and that's okay. But as a whole, if you talk to your LGS and they're not like ecstatic with the amount of value that they've been given, then they're doing something wrong. On the flip side, though, the quantity of the product that LGS has received has gone downhill like insanely fast. We went from being able to like buy whatever we want for certain products to being 100% allocated on them. And we're talking about products that like we're not the biggest LGS in the world, but we hold our own weight and we buy volume. So typically we're on the higher end for allocations. So when I ask for like 1,000 boxes of a product and I get 100, then I know it's really bad because I can't imagine what a normal LGS that doesn't do the volume that we do gets when they ask for 50 boxes, So we've kind of entered this world, and I've been thinking about like an analogy or some way to kind of explain it. It's as if we were selling, LGSs want to sell Nissans. We want to sell entry-level vehicles. Because you can just buy a ton, right? You just have a ton, you let it go. You buy a ton, you let it go. And what's happened is that although the products haven't become premium, it's not as if the booster box is now super duper booster box. It's the same product, but our allocations on that product are starting to creep up into like the luxury vehicle category. So now we're having to sell Nissans as if they're Porsches, and and at Porsche prices, right? Because if I am supposed to get 100 boxes, then I can sell them as if I got 100 boxes. If I get 5 boxes and I'm expecting 100, I am going to sell the 5 boxes as if it's the 100 boxes, which is why we're seeing such crazy, insane price increases across the board on product. And LGSs are the ones who get stuck with that bill, right? We're the ones who have to deal with it. When supply does not equal demand, prices go up or prices go down. That's just how the world works. People want the product. There's not enough of the product. People start bidding and paying more and more and more for it. People don't want the product. There's a lot of product. The price goes down and down and down. So we're kind of been stuck into this area this year where we've had hyper price increases and hyper price decreases, meaning that prices and products are like extremely expensive or stores want nothing to do with it and they're just trying to get rid of it. So what does that mean for fourth quarter? So and this is a very interesting time, I think, from a market perspective for someone who's interested in the economy and how money flows in and out of things. We are in a place from the LGS perspective where most products sell on their own. There's very little dead inventory when it comes to products, which means fourth quarter is a significant time to like get rid of bad product. It's a time to like cut your losses, sell off some garbage so that you have some capital to go into the new year fresh. You have an opportunity to give your customer base an extra discount on products. And, it's like, you help me, I help you. But when there's no product to do that with, it makes buying fourth quarter difficult. It means that your expectations for a sale or a deal or value, your expectations are here and the store has nothing to offer. So there's going to be a massive like expectation gap, and that's bad. Because that means you're going to go to Black Friday sales and you're going to be like, here's $1 off a product. You'd be like, this is crap. I want nothing to do with that. I want Pokemon at $5. I want to buy a booster box and make 10 times my profit kind of thing. We want to have Christmas, right? I want a present under the tree. And there's just such a disconnect, I think, this fourth quarter between what is going to be available to consumers and what consumers want. Because stores don't have to. We are not in a position to discount good product. I had somebody reach out yesterday, the day before, and they said, hey, can I get a discount on a case of Pokemon? 2 years ago, I would have given you a crazy discount on a case of Pokemon. I would have given you everything. I would have been like, yeah, please take a case. And now it's like, No, if you buy all my Pokemon, I'm not going to give you a discount because I'm going to sell all of that regardless of you buying it or the next guy in line. Because that's just how it's functioning right now, you know? For Flesh and Blood, up until Super Slam, it was like, no, I can't do case discounts. I can't do discounts on top of discounts because I can't buy anymore. I need product. I need to open stuff. I need singles. So we're in this weird place where there's not a lot to offer for fourth quarter. If stores didn't save inventory, which a lot of stores can't, I'm afraid that we're going to be kind of disappointed in what we're going to see as a whole. Now, obviously, Amazon is going to have its stuff. It's going to have some crazy dumps and some negotiated deals, and those will get bought up by the bots in a second. And that is what it is. But like as a whole, we have started to move into this vacuum of inventory, which means fourth quarter is going to be rough. Okay. Now, let's look at the economics side of the world and not just the LGS side. We have had 2 consecutive interest rate point drops, not full points, but decreases in the interest rate as a whole that the Fed has done. I'm not going to try to tell you that's good or bad because I don't personally know where I sit with it yet. I know originally I felt one way and I kind of feel differently another place. And I think some of the data I'm going to talk about will help to explain why, like, really, if right now, and I've talked to economists, like actual economists with the other industries that I work in, and they're more or less saying if somebody tells you this is what the next 6 months is going to look like, then they're lying because there's so much fog right now. We still have no idea what the future is going to hold. So we're all in this weird holding pattern of like knee-jerk reactions and wanting to hold and wanting to sell, and so it's kind of crazy. So a recent study that came out yesterday by I think it was Visa or American Express, one of the credit card companies, said, and I wrote this down because these numbers are a little bit more factual. They said the average spend for holiday purchases this year is up 10% to $736 per person on average. Now, some of you hear $736 and you're like, who the heck is spending $736 during Christmas? And then others of you are saying like, I spent that last week just on like sleeves. So that's where the average comes, right? Some of you are just insane people. There was 2 or 3 years back, I had a customer, no joke, spent $60,000-$70,000 on sealed inventory because what his day job was doing was just flying off the shelf so hard that he's like, I'm just spending money for fun. And then I've got people that are like, you know, I'm going to buy my 2 packs a week. And that's how I'm going to entertain myself with a hobby. And both are great. Like there's nothing wrong with buying just a few things or going crazy and buying a ton if it's within your means. But a 10% increase in expected spend with the outlook being so potentially negative is scary because one thing that Americans love to do is go into debt. It's like a national pastime for us. If you don't have debt, you're like not American. So the fact that like the consumer outlook is kind of negative, but we're like, yep, spend, spend, spend. I don't know what that means for next year, but that's just the information that I have on hand. At the same time, the U.S. Consumer confidence in the economy and in the world is at a 6-month low. Okay. So we have spend, spend, spend. I'm not sure what the world is looking like right now, but that 6-month consumer spend, we're seeing it go into what's called a K pattern. So, you know, you've got like the K, you've got the line and then the K. And the outlook as a whole for people who make $75,000 and less in the US is down, very down. If you're making under 75K a year, the average person is very scared about what the rest of this year and next year is going to look like. The job market, the state of the world, rent, etc., all food prices, all this stuff. The opposite, so that's the down one. The people that are super optimistic about what the world is going to look like are the people who are making $200,000 and more, that upper percentage of the population. And that makes a lot of sense to me looking at where the luxury goods of trading card games are at, right? The litmus test of like the appliance industry that we're in versus the trading card games that we're in gives us a very like unique outlook because there's required purchases like refrigerators. So if your refrigerator dies, you don't just not buy another refrigerator. You have to buy a refrigerator. That's kind of a necessity today. Now, you may not buy the insane, crazy $15,000 refrigerator. you may buy the basic white cube that does the job fine when the economy is down. No one has to buy Pokemon cards. No one has to buy Flesh and Blood or Magic cards. Those are luxury spends. So when we see the price of the average product when it comes to luxury goods increasing to this insane level where collector boxes are selling for $400, $500, $600, $700 for Magic, and people are spending, $1,000 on rare promos and stuff like that for other games. What that's telling us is that the people purchasing these products are in that top section of that K curve, meaning that the average customer that I'm interacting with currently makes probably more money than the average customer I interacted with last year or the year before. So we're seeing that also with the increase of the word like scammer and scalper, and we got called a neckbeard yesterday. I got that review removed. They never purchased anything from us, but people are honestly upset and angry that they can't interact with the game on the level that they used to because they're being priced out of the game. They're being priced out of collecting because the people buying these things are doing so on such a different level that it's hard for normal individuals, our normal customer base, to interact with the game. So, it is what it is. I have no control over that. I don't get to decide where the economy goes in that. I have control over my pricing and what I do. And so we still try to offer, one of the better price options online, even if it's crazy high. We try to offer these bundles. Like the other thing is like the bots that have been just like buying up crazy stuff. The bundles that we create don't exist in the algorithm of the bots because it doesn't match to a SKU or a URL or a product code or anything like that. So they can't scrape our website for that data because it's a unique product. So that helps our customer base get access to our product at these discounts, as opposed to some bot just buying up a ton of them. So if we're looking at like consumer confidence is weird. We're 10% down on the year. A lot of companies are dealing with tariffs and increased costs. Fourth quarter, I'm not expecting it to be fun for the consumer. I'm not expecting you guys to be able to buy like an insane amount of stuff at good value. I think it's going to be tough to find deals. And I think when deals are found, they're going to be very limited. And you have to be quick. So I would highly recommend that you just buy everything from me. No, I'm joking. But for real, that'd be awesome. But to really take a look at what your goals are for fourth quarter and plan ahead for purchases. If you're going to Philly for Worlds, like we're right there at fourth quarter, what you buy there is going to affect what you buy when you get home. So like think about what you really want, whether it's Pokemon boxes or Magic or Flesh and Blood or, Gundam or One Piece. Riftbound literally comes out today. Like the pricing that we see today and the pricing we saw 6 months ago and the pricing we're going to see 6 months from now could be vastly different. So you really have to be in the moment. I mean, we were pre-selling Avatar collector boxes for $900 and it's almost sold out at $900. And then we got a restock, we got additional allocation, and prices plummeted down to like $400 or $500. So we adjusted our price. Everyone who bought it at $900 is going to get a refund for the difference because that's what we do for everything. But like, that's how fast prices can change. So it's just such a weird place to be in fourth quarter. So, it is what it is. Here we are. Halloween, not Thanksgiving. So once again, tomorrow, Black Friday, we're starting the sales. I hope to see you all online. I hope that we have something to offer you that is valuable to you, that will give you your money's worth, that will help make your fourth quarter Christmas season of giving and buying wonderful. And I really hope I see a lot of you at Philly. We're gonna have some really cool things going on there. But that's what I have today. I'm gonna go finish this coffee and good luck trick-or-treating. Take care. Bye.